Hi everybody, Patrick here from EngineeringShot.com and ElectronicLessons.com. What I wanted to show off today is one of my new DIY kits / fully built modules. I'll be selling it as both. Let me just give you some background. I am awful for turning off my soldering iron. I forget to turn off my soldering iron all the time. It's not good for the iron. It's not good for anything. It's a huge power waster, and I've ruined many tips from just being stupid about not unplug my soldering iron. So what I did was I designed a module that will keep your soldering iron on for 30 minutes and then turn off. And as well, when the soldering iron is off, even if power is applied, it is not consuming anything. And how that's possible is I've designed it so that the on switch applies power by pressing start, which flips on a relay as well through a microcontroller that essentially acts to apply power as well. So when the device turns off, that relay flips off, which disapplies power to everything. There's absolutely no power consumption when the device is off, even if you leave it plugged in. Now, here's your input terminal block, your start button, and your select button. Your select button turns off the device, and you've got two terminal blocks here. Now, if you notice underneath, this is where the terminal blocks are, and there's two very, very thick traces there, so that I can actually power my soldering iron safely through a relay. Now this device is rated to apply 120 volts AC through to a 30 watt iron or less. I have not designed it for anything higher than 30 watts. So what I would do is I would take and I'll show you this in a minute, I would take a cheap extension cord that I was willing to sacrifice, and I would cut the hot wire in half, and I would put one of the spliced hot wires here and one here, so that when the relay turns on, it makes the connection and power will reach the soldering iron, and after 30 minutes it will turn off. Now if after 30 minutes you want it to stay heated, you just press start again and it will start that timer again for 30 minutes. And if say 15 minutes in, okay, I'm done with my soldering iron, I just press the sell button, the power relay turns off, which turns off everything. So what I'll do is I will be selling this with a power supply, so just a wall transformer. I'll show you how in the assembly video, not in this video. I will show you how to connect that to your input. And I've got a poorly modified extension cord that I'm going to connect here, and then I'm going to connect my soldering iron to that extension cord, and it will apply 120 volts AC to my 30 watt iron for 30 minutes as we go. So again, start, applies power, power relay turns on, takes over for the power switch, and then I can turn it off at any time by pressing sell. You can actually use different buttons for this if you wanted to make a box for this, because I'm going to be making a box for this, but it's not feasible for shipping to ship out little enclosure boxes with this. So you'll have to find your own. You'll have to find your own extension cord. But let me set it up to give you a demonstration. Just to give you a good view of what's going on, I've got my soldering iron plugged in to my extension cord. Now I've got my extension cord spliced. Now if you see there's a red and blue wire here, that's because I've actually spliced two extension cords together in this specific case. But if you were going to do it, you'd take the black, cut it in half, one black in the left, one black in the right. Now you got to be really careful, because once you plug the extension cord in, your terminal blocks are live with 120 volts AC. So if you don't know what you're doing, and you don't have a good respect for 120 volts AC, don't purchase this kit. Now, there's some extra buttons here that you could, I sell these in my store as well. You could use them easily for an interface with your project box. You can splice them with the start and sell lines for your own project box to make this really safe. There's 4 mounting holes, one in each corner of the main board. Anyhow, I'm plugged in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a stopwatch. I'm going to time it. Last time I did this, it took, I think, 30 minutes and 15 seconds. It's about as accurate as I could get before the soldering iron turned off. So what I'll do, I will press my start button. Or first I will apply, 9 volts to the power supply, 9 volts DC. And I'll press my start button. LED blinks 3 times. The relay's clicked on, and so now power is being applied to my soldering iron. So in a minute, what I'm going to do is I am going to take my soldering iron. I'll show you that it's actually heating up. I will put it in my flux just so you hear the sss, and then in 30 minutes I will also take some video of it turning off. I'm now going to take my soldering iron. It's been on for about 2 minutes. I'm going to put it in my flux. As you can, I'm not sure if you can hear that or not, the sizzle. Still not hot enough to burn solder yet, but should be within another minute or two. So I'll stop the video now, and after 30 minutes we will watch the ending sequence. As you see, almost exactly 30 minutes. LED blinks 3 times, both relays turn off, disapplying power to the entire unit. So again, absolutely zero power consumption on the DC power lines, and no power is now being applied to the soldering iron. So now at this point, what I can do is just to show you that the soldering iron is now powering off. It's still very hot. What I can do is I can restart it. Another 30 minutes, and 5 minutes later, any time later between now and 30 minutes, I can just press the sell button. Turns everything off. So I think it's a fun kit, easy to put together. Just some passive components, 2 buttons, 3 terminal blocks, 2 relays, a pick, a socket, and a regulator, and that's all. Really easy to put together. We'll sell it in kit form and in DIY kit form, and that video will have a lot more detail. So this is just a demonstration. Sorry if I've prattled on too long. I hope you all have a happy holiday and a Merry Christmas. Thanks for watching, everyone.